Hello, welcome to Foliage. My name's John McDonald, and today we're going to make a really simple arrangement. And I just wanted to use this jug that I actually found in a flea market or a second-hand stall. And I really like this because it's quite kind of rustic and folk arty. And for the flowers, we've got some red hot pokers. I've got the seed pods from some flag iris, which I think are really interesting. And I've got this allium seed head, which I think really works well colour-wise. So what I wanted to do was make an arrangement that isn't necessarily full of greenery. We're just really going to use the flowers and try and make something that's very colourful, but just a little bit different as well. So the first thing I want to do is I want to put a little bit of weight down into this vase. So I'm just going to use some pin holders. But you could use some stones, it doesn't really matter. It's just, literally because this is tall, it's slightly more at risk of falling over. So a little bit of weight in the bottom is not a bad thing. And the other thing we're going to use for support is just this aluminium wire. Now that is one roll basically. So I've just split it in half. All you need to do is scrunch it up and put that into your vase. So we're not wanting to roll this up so tight that there's not spaces. It's the spaces that are going to allow us to place our flowers into this vase. So now I can fill it with water. Now we don't want to take it right to the top because the stems will displace some of the water. So we'll get it 2/3 full, and then we can always add a little bit of water at the end. So I'm looking at my vase and I'm thinking, right, how do I want this to sit? And the other thing is to have a look at your materials. So what are the most interesting materials? So these are all quite interesting. This one is really big, which I do like. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut the end. You want your stems to be nice and clean and not damaged in any way. Yeah. So straight away, if we're thinking this is the front, I'm coming off at a slight angle, and this continues with the normal growing position for this type of flower, which I think is important. But really, I don't want to put all the flowers up here. I actually want to really put them down the bottom. So I think our next important thing to place is probably our allium. So straight away you can see this is also helping cover our mechanic as well, which is quite good. And now we can have a little look at our other flowers. So really I envisaged making this more like a massive flower down the bottom. So it would be a little bit interesting. I know it seems wicked cutting these short, but it's nice to just use things in different ways. And to be honest, you could use this in a different design, or you could use this as part of the design. It doesn't necessarily need to not get used. I remember when I had my shop, there was an interesting concept from Holland that basically if you'd bought your flowers, you've paid for everything. So you want to use everything. You want to use the stem, the lot. So what we've really done is we've created a line, a placement, a main placement. We've also brought that colour in there. So really our other elements then are just going to be adding some detail. So as I say, I've got these lovely seed heads. Now, these little bits are not so useful. We can take them off. But I just thought these are interesting. You don't necessarily know what they are. Are they a fruit? Are they a seed pod? The other thing as well is we can always turn this round in the vase. Yeah, because I really want it to be this kind of way. So let's get a few more of these in. And this is the thing about flower arranging. You're not going to find, if you're new to it, that you just put things together and they're perfect. You have to reassess what you've done, step back, look again, and decide, are you happy with it? Does it work? Do I need to adjust something? That's really part of the enjoyment of this, is that it can be just very plain. I'm really liking this. So we've got the colour, we've got this texture, we've got a lot of texture here, and this placement out here with a strong line. Now, I do have some iris leaves, but do we need them? Because I think what we've got is quite interesting. What we could do is we can use them to create like a secondary line. So again, we want to make sure this is in water. Now you could use a different material for this. You could use a grass. Or can actually just lift that flower and bring that. Yeah. So just to show you that, we're adding a little bit of interest there. So just lifting up that flower actually just made the difference for getting that in. Now, if you were using foam, you'll find that you can place things really easily. But the benefit of the wire is it's reusable, it's more eco-friendly, but you do have to just have a wee play to get things to sit where you want them. Yeah, I like this. We're just going to put a wee turn on that. So if you think about this being, looking at it from the front, we've got a line which is giving us depth because it's coming forward. We're keeping that natural thing, but it is still facing us. We've got this punch of colour, interest, colour, and also a contrast line that picks up on this handle as well. So a fun little arrangement, just using materials that we had in the garden and just kicking around. So it shows you don't need a lot of materials to make an interesting design, but you can make something that's fun, enjoyable to do, and get a bit of enjoyment in your own home. So I hope you've enjoyed watching our video. If you have, click here to subscribe. We've got regular videos, one at least every week, and we look forward to seeing you for our next design.